What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Learn Japanese from Some Guy. In today's video, we're going to look at part 2 of my little series on how to make comparisons in Japanese. And today we're going to look at using hodo to compare two different things. So if you have seen part 1 of this series where we learned about using yori, then you are ready to go. If you haven't seen that, be sure to check that out first because it'll make learning today's lesson a little easier. If we're ready, then let's get started. So the structure of our sentences is going to look something like this. We'll have object 1 wa, object 2 hodo, negative, adjective desu. So as you can see, it looks quite similar to using yori. So instead of using yori, we use hodo. And instead of using just a regular adjective, we use the negative form of the adjective. So that's why I think using hodo is slightly a little more complicated than using yori, because we have to conjugate our adjective to its negative form. But if you have been, watching the videos, from the beginning up to now, you should have a pretty solid foundation of Japanese. And if you've been reviewing, then, using an adjective in its negative form shouldn't prove to be, difficult at all. So I'm not expecting that this is going to be challenging for you, but it's a little more difficult than yori, but just a little bit, not so much. And in order to help demonstrate the differences between hodo and yori, we're going to look at the exact same sentences that we saw in part 1. So the meaning is going to be the exact same. The only difference is how we express that meaning. So for example, here we have our first example sentence. So we have, uchi no imoto wa watashi hodo yasashiku nai desu. Uchi no imoto wa watashi hodo yasashiku nai desu. So my younger sister is not as nice as me. And you'll notice here we have yasashi, and the nai form is yasashiku nai. So hopefully conjugating, to the negative form is easy for you. So my younger sister is not as nice as me. And if we go back up to the sentences we saw in part 1, where we learned how to use yori, we have watashi wa uchi no imoto yori yasashii desu. So I am nicer than my younger sister. So my younger sister is not as nice as me, and I am nicer than my younger sister is the exact same. Obviously, how we say it is different, but the meaning is for the most part, the exact same. So either way is okay. And that's how all these example sentences are. So for example, number 2, we have kyo wa kino yori atsui desu. So today is hotter than yesterday using yori. But if we wanted to use hodo, it would look something like this. 昨日は今日ほど暑くなかったです。昨日は今日ほど暑くなかったです。So yesterday wasn't as hot as today. So you'll notice here that we also have to use the past tense of atsui, but we use the negative past tense, 暑くなかった, not as hot. So yesterday was not as hot as today. And number 3, その靴はこの靴ほど安くないです。その靴はこの靴ほど安くないです。So those shoes are not as cheap as these ones. Number 4, 亀さんはうさぎさんほど速くないです。亀さんはうさぎさんほど速くないです。So the tortoise isn't as fast as the hare. And I think in part 1, we said, the hare is faster than the tortoise. So the tortoise is not as fast as the hare, the exact same thing, except this time we're using hodo and the negative form of our adjective. Number 5, 6は8ほど大きくないです。6は8ほど大きくないです。So 6 is not as great. 6 is not as big as 8. And number 6, 8は6ほど小さくないです。8は6ほど小さくないです。So 8 is not less than 6, or 8 is not smaller or as small as 6. Number 7, 東京は長崎ほど安全ではないです。東京は長崎ほど安全ではないです。So Tokyo is not as safe as Nagasaki. Or we could say Nagasaki is safer than Tokyo, or Tokyo is not as safe as Nagasaki. It's the exact same. And you'll notice here that most of these, I think all of these have been e adjectives. Yasui, hayai, oki, chisai. But we're not limited to just using na adjectives or e adjectives. We can also use a na adjective. So the nai, or the negative form of a na adjective, would just add de wa nai. Anzen de wa nai. And number 8, 私はあなたほど上手じゃないです。私はあなたほど上手じゃないです。So I'm not as good, I'm not as skillful as you. So here we have another na adjective, but we're being a little more casual. So instead of saying 上手ではない, we can say 上手じゃない. Same thing. All right, so that's it. So really quick look into using ほど, but all you have to remember is that we need to use the negative adjective, a negative form of the adjective. So object 1 wa, object 2 ほど, negative adjective. And of course, you may have to use the past tense, but you need to use the negative form of the adjective. Whether it's an e adjective or a na adjective, it doesn't matter. So review these sentences, watch the video a couple times before tackling the practice problems, which is what we're going to do now. So just like we saw in part 1, I'm going to show you some images or some pictures, whatever, and we're going to compare them, but this time instead of using yori, we're going to use hodo. So we have the exact same thing as before, 赤いシャツ, 青いシャツ, 安い. So we can see that the blue shirt is not as, the red shirt is not as cheap as the blue shirt. So we could say, 赤いシャツは青いシャツほど安くないです. So we need to use the negative form of 安い, right? And that's what we're going to do. So let's see, number 1. So you can pause the video here and try to answer it before I do. We can kind of work on it together. Let's get that out of here. Okay. So we have 青いシャツ、赤いシャツ、高い. So we can see that the blue shirt is not as expensive as the red shirt. So we could say 青いシャツは赤いシャツほど高くないです。青いシャツは赤いシャツほど高くないです。So the blue shirt is not as expensive as the red shirt. And let's see the next one. We have 彼女背が低い. So we can see that he is not as short as her. He is not as short as she is. So how would we say that? We say 彼は彼女ほど低くないです。低くない。低くないです。Yeah, that's right. It's difficult to say. So 彼は彼女ほど低くないです。So he is not as short as her. 低くない。Number 3. 赤いボール、緑色のボール、小さい。So we can see that the red ball is not as small as the green ball. So how would we say that? So we have the first object, 赤いボールは, and not as small as the green ball. So 緑色のボールほど小さくないです。赤いボールは緑色のボールほど小さくないです。So the red ball is not as small as the green ball. And here we have our blue and gray buildings. So 青いビル、ネズミ色のビル、and 高い. So the gray building is not as, the blue building is not as high or as tall as the gray building. So how would we say that? Say, 青いビルは、ネズミ色のビルほど高くないです。青いビルはネズミ色のビルほど高くないです。So the blue building is not as tall as the gray building. Number 5. 固定電話、携帯電話、便利. So a house phone is not as convenient as a cell phone. So how would we say that? So we have 固定電話は携帯電話ほど便利ではない。便利ではないです。I want to be polite. So you'll see here that this has a lot of kanji, a little difficult kanji characters. 固定電話は携帯電話ほど便利ではないです。So if you want to use the hiragana, 固定、携帯, I think that's okay. But if you want to write it in kanji, it would look something like this. And let's see, numbers, to be frank, I probably, if someone asked me to write 固定電話, I couldn't write 固定. And, 携帯電話, I haven't practiced my kanji in a long time, so I probably could not write 携帯 either. So I would use hiragana. But, common words like 電話, 便利, that I could definitely write. But, 固定, not something I write every day, so I need to practice myself. But anyway, number 6, 彼女、彼、背が高い. So she is not as tall as him, right? She is not as tall as him. So how would we say that? 彼女は彼ほど背が高くないです。彼女は彼ほど背が高くないです。So she is not as tall as him. Number 7, the last one. 赤いボール、緑色のボール、小さい. Again, I had the mistake. So let's see. The red ball is not as small as the green ball. Do we have that one up there already? The red ball is not as small as the green ball. Yeah, we did. Okay, well, I guess we can review. So we have 赤いボールは緑色のボールほど小さくないです。So the red ball is not as small as the green ball. I think it should be big. It should be the green ball. How would we say that? I think maybe that's what the mistake I made. It should be, if we wanted to say the green ball is not as big as the red ball, what could we say? The green ball is not as big as the red ball. We could say 緑色のボールは赤いボールほど大きくないです。Right? The green ball is not as big as the red ball. There's a little pop quiz for the both of us. All right, so that's going to do it for today's lesson on comparing using ほど. So just a quick recap, the major difference between using よりand ほど is that we need to use the negative form of the adjective, right? Everything else is pretty much the same. You have object 1 は, object 2 ほど, and then negative adjective. So 8は6ほど小さくないです. So 8 is not as big, or 8 is not as small as 6. I'm confused myself. 東京は長崎ほど安全ではないです. So Tokyo is not as safe as Nagasaki. Okay, so remember, if you wanted to use より, you could simply say 長崎は東京より安全です. Exact same thing. Tokyo or Nagasaki is safer than Tokyo. So whichever one you want to say, you know, when do you say this in English as opposed to saying it the other way? Just however you feel, or maybe you don't even think about it, right? But anyway, it's important to know how to use ほど because you might hear it or you might want to express, you know, some feeling using ほど. So anyway, just remember that we use the negative form of the adjective. Okay? And then that's it for part 2. In part 3, we're going to look at using の方が. So this one I think is really straightforward, really simple. So in part 3, we'll learn one last way to make comparisons. So be sure to check that out next week. And as always, thank you guys very much for watching. And anyone who leaves a comment or like or something like that, I always appreciate it, and I always try to respond or answer questions as quickly as I can. Thank you for subscribing, all my subscribers, and thank you for telling a friend. That's what I really appreciate the most. Turning people on to my channel. It really I love it when I see that my number of subscribers has grown, or people leave comments. It's great. So that's what makes doing this all worth it. So tell everybody that they want to, even if they don't want to study Japanese, tell them anyway. But that's it. So next time we'll look at using の方が. We'll finish part 3 of chapter 7 on how to make comparisons. So be sure to check that out, and we'll see you next time. またね.